Go ahead.
So just to clarify, in terms of proposals, then would the, I mean, everybody's very welcome to go to what Sheila's saying, but would the proposal be that Occupy officially support this action and send the banner?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we know what
I
we're
believe so.
Sure.
Yeah. Sounds good to me. And also the point of process, can people remind me, are we still doing, the proposals are put forward one by one and then decisions on each proposal are made after all the proposals have been?
I mean, there's some flair to going with the moment.
Yeah.
I find it a lot easier personally to write down all the proposals so that we know, hey, we're dealing with 4 issues today or whatever. And then depending on how discussion goes, like for instance, last week we started off that way, but discussion kept kind of compounding a couple of proposals, so that was fine.
Yeah.
But I find it easier to get the ideas down first, and then if the discussions get intermingled, so be it, you know?
Right, but
But then we have it firmed down what the proposals are, and it's a lot easier to come back to it and ask for minute takers what the proposal was if discussion does get derailed.
okay. But like ideally, the debate should take place in the decision-making phase after the proposals are done. Yeah,
The customary way that I would do it is like ask for proposals, and then we kind of go through the proposals with a temperature check to find out how much discussion is necessary.
right.
And then from there, try to craft some sort of decision after we've had discussion,
Okay.
either in large amounts or small amounts.
Okay.
But follow your instinct.
George?
Feedback on that. For those that are on the lower end, the have-nots, the more they are challenged with memory, the more breaking up the whole process challenges their participation. So and even myself, so what I'm looking at is the closer we can get to an infrastructure that we are visually accommodating or demonstrating our flow through our agenda and our development of our discussion into proposals and ideas that can be visualized. So I'm almost a laptop with a projector, and everybody can sort of be on the same page at the same time, rather than be on the page as well as your individual memories allow. That's just my personal limitation, and perhaps limitation of others.
What clarification?
I don't know if it's clarification, but would it make sense to folks if we got ourselves a flip chart and just actually put the proposals up on it, and then we can all follow and we know what 1, 2, 3, and 4 are? So not write everything down, but like that we have a big flip chart and actually put up the key things, and then we can co-facilitate the wording. You know what I mean? If there's 1 or 2 words that are kind of off.
I'm thinking, I'm only disagreeing because I see the paper process needing then to be duplicated afterwards. So if it's being developed electronically and visually at the same time, at the end of the discussion, the work is all done to go into the minutes to go out. So there's no need to then copy from flip chart paper to electronics for dissemination through the greater membership. It's a higher level of technology, but a greater ability to put it out. So in the short term, the flip chart has the immediate benefit. In the sort of larger picture, the infrastructure base of technology is highly advantageous.
Did you want to say something?
I think the premise of the idea of having more visual aids, moving towards something like that would be great, but then, immediately, either today or next week, people can talk about projectors. I'd be more than happy to set up a projector if someone's got one, but a flip chart would definitely be cheaper, so let's look at that for next week.
I got the paper, if anybody has a stand.
Yeah, okay.
I'm pretty sure we could probably borrow the stand from Oakburn.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a projector.
Oh, really?
I've got an overhead projector too.
Well, all right.
No,
Facilitators group can
kind?
talk about
I've
that.
got a,
Do you have a video projector?
a what?
What kind of projector do you have?
Just a screen projector.
Oh.
Sorry, a screen. I have a screen, not a projector. Sorry.
All right.
Okay, excellent.
Cool.
So it sounds like a lot of things are happening, and it sounds like it's been assigned to facilitation to make sure it happens.
Cool.
Okay, so can we move on to the next proposal? Who's got a proposal? I've got a couple, but
Just brief one. I'll probably just have to reiterate it next meeting, but I think we've been, a lot of, when we've had conflicts, it's often been around kind of big picture, philosophical or political beliefs and ideals and that kind of stuff, and I think it would be exciting and maybe productive if we held once or twice a week at a convenient time for most people. Just, you know, like a really informal conversation, discussion group kind of thing where people could come, you know, informally and talk about the big picture ideas that are usually, you know, too involved for us to get into in depth, you know, in GA, but which, you know, I think people would benefit from discussing together and kind of learning. It's not big, yeah, it's just like I'll make a doodle poll or something, you know, and we'll figure out if there's a time and place that people would like to do that. Yeah.
So the proposal would be that we get together to kind of talk about big picture stuff
Yeah.
or casual gatherings.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
That's just a good idea, period. Yeah.
Yeah, it's discussion.
Yeah, then it saves time anyway.
Yeah.
I would support I mentioned this briefly last week, but May 1st, people are around everywhere organizing like an international general strike for May 1st. I think it came out of west coast of the state somewhere. I actually have a website here that's, I just Google searched it. But it'd be interesting to like start planning for that now here, if like it seems to be a lot of other Occupy movements are taking part in there, and like because the whole Occupy thing sort of started at the start of fall this year anyways, so this summer is like a big thing for it to like do stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
So like May 1st is sort of like anyways, I'd be interested in like, I don't know how we would do this, or like, I guess start a committee around that, like planning for that. Like,
Yeah. Direct action committee, definitely. I think we already talked about May 5th just briefly of we're going to, you know, ideally try to ship a bunch of people, whoever wants to go to Ottawa for that. But yeah, the general strike does start on May 1st, so we should start talking about what we're going to do.
yeah, if we like put out posters and stuff now, or like Google pamphlets, I don't know. It'd be cool.
Yeah.
May 1st is a really important day internationally as the International Labor Day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Dude, it makes
I can read the, I'll just read the little post it says here, it's kind of good. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Occupy May 1st General Strike. And then it says, how I can participate. If you are part of a unionized labor and your contract is up for negotiation, you can officially strike on May 1st. If you are not, call in sick, take a holiday, don't show up for school, march with us, or join in one of the many events that will be taking place on May 1st, either in the day, in the evening, block parties, rallies, protests, marches, family barbecues. This is a day when we take a stand against the way the system has enslaved us, burdened us with unimaginable debt, increasingly long working weeks, unfeasibly expensive health care. By taking a day for ourselves, being human again, and spending time with our families and friends, our bosses dictate everything to us, but not our holiday. The holiday of the working class, the 99%. I don't know. Yeah, that'd be. Yeah, if we plan now, it could be really awesome.
Another
Though I might not even be around on May 1st. But
I know there are people within like the greater community of Occupy who are actually planning stuff for May 1st. So
Yeah.
that would be we can get you connected with them, but we can talk about that in the proposals.
We'll have to connect with the unions and
Yeah.
stuff too. I assume they'll probably.
They're already connecting with us, so
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll start showing up to the direct action meeting.
Yeah.
And we can make some posters or something.
Definitely.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Sweet.
Right.
Direct action itself has another proposal.
Go for it.
Okay. This has to do with our design principles and values for direct action, which has had discussion probably at 3 different GAs. And here we are proposing the following. The statement, quote, "only nonviolent resistance is acceptable," unquote, be deleted and replaced by another statement. Paul, could you read off that statement?
You have it
Oh, Joe's got it.
on
I would have to go get it. So let's read that out in a second. This was about,
We're
I would like,
replacing.
yeah. But was this in, okay, so clarification. We had discussed about making the document a DA document and that whole premise, which I think is an interesting kind of like how to go forward. So how committees, so the GA can let committees make these guidelines and these documents for themselves. So was it that we were going to take back the document kind of and let that be a DA document, but then this be a statement for the big picture Occupy?
Okay.
that wasn't really my understanding.
We were trying to solve one problem first and then do what you said. Okay, but it's strictly DA. It's strictly a DA statement here, that one right there. And that's all we wanted to deal with today.
Yeah.
Okay, now we had other things that were discussed that could apply to the Occupy Peterborough as a whole, but we weren't going to deal with that today, unless somebody brings it up. So it's simply the replacement of the statement that some people find objectionable with another statement, which does sound like it applies to the Occupy movement period and came from another Occupy, but we want to insert it here. So this is finished.
Well, here,
We
yeah.
want this to be over.
Yeah.